Hi, everyone. John here at the PT Services Group. Welcome back to PTS Dan with Dan Hudock.
Hey, good morning, John.
How you doing, Dan?
Wonderful.
Good. So, talking with an associate recently, and she was telling me about a sales quoting request experience she had, and this happens unfortunately a lot. And the motivations can always be interesting, but in her particular case, she reached out. She wanted a quote for advertising in a newspaper. Doesn't happen as often today as it once upon a time did, but that's what she wanted. Had a 40-minute conversation with the guy, had the expectation the next day or two she'd get the information back she was looking for. 10 days later, a couple calls in between, he reaches back and says, here's your quote. Sorry it took me a while, but I really put my extra effort, special touch to it to get it just perfect for you. Yeah, 10 days later. So talk a little bit about sales and the constant ongoing struggle with follow through pretty much across the board.
Well, come on. That is a bogus response. I took some extra time to put together a great deal just for you.
Just
Come
for
on. John, why do you think that guy did not send the quote earlier?
take it lazy.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a smaller deal. Didn't want to spend the time. Maybe didn't think he'd get the deal. Didn't think it was worth his time. Who knows? But bottom line, he made a commitment and he failed to follow through.
Well, and that's the first place to start. If you say you're going to do something, do it,
Yep.
regardless, or don't say it. So let's start with that. But here's what happens. And I talk to a lot of people in sales and they're like, "Hey, if I don't send out a quote, I don't get the business." And that's true. But the other side of that is I could send out 100 quotes and only get one piece of business. Is that the best use of my time? And see,
Yeah.
here's where salespeople go. They meet with someone, they find a little bit of a problem, and then the person wants a quote, and we send them a quote, and now we start to chase them down in the hopes to get the
Yep.
sale. What should happen is the quote should really be a formality based on what we already discussed. It should be, I'm going to put in writing what we've already agreed to. Because if it's done in that respect, you'll get an 80, 90% close on a quote. So you got to find pain. You have to have budget discussions. You got to have discussions on what the decision process is. And then let's talk about what happens when the prospect gets the quote. What are they going to do with it?
What
And
happens
when are
next?
they going to
Yep.
decide?
Yep.
And if I don't like any of that stuff, then please don't do the quote. You give
Yeah,
all the rest of us salespeople a bad name.
yeah, and I've fallen in this trap at times where I have a lot of conversations and I like to follow through quickly and it takes me an extra day or so. It's also okay to set an expectation based on what you're on your plate of, hey, if I get this out to you by the end of the day tomorrow, is that going to work for you or do you need it sooner? Have those conversations as well when it's appropriate to actually put the quote out.
Yeah, and it's a summary here. If they have certain problems and you discuss with them how much it will cost to fix those problems, and they're okay with that, and then you offer your solution at that price to fix those problems, and they're okay with that, the quote is easy.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks again. We'll see you again tomorrow.